shots with the red dot sight on my AK. It's got some 55 grain loaded up. Alright, here goes nothing. Safe. I'm going to go downrange to check it out. I am using some old surplus ammo. I did have a failure to eject. It's honestly the first one I've had on this gun, but I head downrange, try and zero this in a little bit. See you in a minute. Alright, it's getting a bit windy. It's going to rain soon. But I zeroed it in a bit more. I moved the target closer. It was out about 75 yards. Now we're sitting at about 30. So I'm going to try this again. And the rain started. It's a lot to the left, but alrighty, as you can tell, I am hitting it. It just wants to aim left. I fired this originally at 100 yards with about 10 rounds and only got 3 rounds on target, and I moved it closer to about 50 and got a lot more on target, and then I moved it to 30 and I obviously hit the ever-loving daylights out of this thing. Again, this is about 3 magazines worth of ammo of slowly firing 3 to 5 rounds, yeah, obviously semi-auto slowly, and then trying to adjust it and adjust it and adjust it, and at the end, as you can see, it's getting pretty close to the middle there, but I was aiming, I mean, quite literally here, and I guess a little bit here. But it's pretty accurate so far. I'm going to put a couple more magazines through this. Alright, this is the post-shooting of the AK with the OKP7 reproduction / replica, along with the modified Chi-Com I'm working on. It honestly ran a lot better than I expected, especially with this here being a convenient little tool pouch, or maintenance pouch. A screwdriver in there, I was able to adjust the sight width at the range, and it was pretty easy. So, let's take a closer look. It's got this nice little cover. You'll see in the range footage that it was pouring pretty bad. I ended up having to stop recording after a bit, but it worked fine. Well, I'll just go over it as a whole. Let's see if you can see that okay. I don't know. Let me know if you can see that. If not, I mean, you guys can look it up. You'll know what it looks like. But it ran okay. Overall, it was pretty accurate. I decided I used about 3 or 4 magazines. At first, I set up the target at 100 yards, and I got 3 rounds on target, and the rest I could see like poofs of dirt and dust clouds going all around the target. So I ended up clamping it a little bit more, just a half turn. And honestly, even after the range, it's still stable. It's not going anywhere. But it makes me not want to take it off because I would be worried about having to put it in the exact same spot and re-zeroing it or resighting it in. Anyway, fired the first mag, walked all the way back to the target, checked it out, only saw 3 rounds hit, and then reloaded, moved the target up to, well, closer to 50 yards, fired another mag, a lot more rounds hit, and I was starting to get more of the hang of it, because it is, again, it's over to the left of the gun itself. So you gotta get used to that. You want to aim down the iron sights and get right over it. But with this, again, you gotta be to the left, and you really gotta line it up perfectly in the center for it to work right. Otherwise, you're gonna hit all around and not exactly what you're aiming at. So you really have to center that reticle in there. But I thought it worked pretty good. Yeah, I moved it even closer to about 25-30 yards at the end there, and it started to pour real bad, and it was hitting spot on. I put all, if not the, well, almost all, if not the entire magazine into the target, but it seemed to go a little bit to the left, and again, it was a lot of adjusting these knobs here to get used to it. While firing, I was using some older ammo that had been stored for a long time, and I had a stovepipe, and it was no fun. Other than that, gun ran fine, and I ended up taking off this. I'm sorry. I ended up not putting it on in the beginning to test out the night sights. Night sights are fine. It's just basically fancier iron sights, and then I put this on and went to town. But I did notice under the recoil of this, and this is a 5.56 Polish AK, it actually turned itself off. This button here, if you push it down, that's so it's on, and it at one point, after rapidly firing a magazine, turned itself off. It moved itself up just enough that it turned itself off. So again, it's not that hard. You're holding the gun like this. You just go, doop, it's back on. You're good to go. Happened twice. It might have been user error. Again, I'm not used to using any optics really. I'm definitely an iron sight person, so it could be user error, especially with the accuracy. But it did seem to get more accurate, a little bit more closer. I moved it, and I was able to make hits and identify when I actually hit the target. But yeah, other than that, it worked great. If it's something you're looking for just to complete a look, yeah, it'll definitely do the job. Shooting long distance, not really. It's definitely a up close and personal kind of thing. And again, you might as well just be using the irons at that point, or if you're hip firing, if that's your thing, you might as well do that. If you think you can land your shots and they're not that far away, do that. But it's not really game changing in any way. It's a red dot. It's an optic. Obviously, no magnification. It looks the part. It works the part. You don't see enough originals to know if that's a problem with the originals, but it ran fine, other than what I mentioned earlier. Would I recommend it? I mean, if you have like $150 to blow on one of these, and you really, really, really want one for kicks and giggles, yeah, go for it. If you want like a practical optic or red dot, I would skip on it, but I get it. I think the people that are looking to buy this are looking for it to match a kit or a vibe, so to speak, or for an impression of sorts. I would not, right now at this point, use it. If I was in like an actual firefight, I would just stick with iron sights. One more thing, with this being on air, you can still take off the dust cover no problem and clean it as is. It doesn't get in the way. I do like to keep this cover on it if I'm not using it, but with the cover on, it's blocking the iron sights, so you can't really aim. Obviously, if you're going to be shooting this, you're going to want to take this off. And I like that they came with this, so you can kind of protect it. This thing was getting pretty wet in the rain, and it didn't fail. It just ran fine. I mean, it was pouring pretty hard, and I was wet by the end of it. And I'm happy this held up as well as it did, with minimal issues. Yeah, you can still use your iron sights at the bottom corner here if you really want to. It's not blocking that at all. It just is kind of funky because you're looking through half of the lens and then the other half of your iron sight is out of the lens. But again, overall, it ran fine. Again, if that's something you want, go for it. If it's something you're looking for to be practical, I right now at this moment cannot recommend it. But you're free to form your own opinions. If you have one, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think and any recommendations. Maybe, again, this could all just be user error on my end. I'm going to use it quite a bit more and probably leave another review in a month or two after I get more rounds downrange with this on. But yeah, that's all for the AK Optic. Back to the chest rig here. With this modification, it turned out quite nicely. My only real complaint overall with the Chi-Com are these straps here. How they kind of want to hug the back of your neck and force it forward, and that gets annoying as hell because all that weight from all these magazines and everything else is going to go on your neck, and that's kind of annoying. My neck's a little sore from it. Obviously, I didn't wear this for days and days. It was only about 3-4 hours up in the mountains, but I'm going uphill, downhill, carrying loaded magazines and tools and whatever else I might need on my person, along with a plate carrier. So honestly, my recommendation would be to maybe sew them together so they don't cross like this. So it's just like an H harness basically going over your shoulder, and then maybe a strap in the back and then the front with buckles to keep it in place, because I don't like it having it wrap around the back of your neck, putting all that weight on it. That seems like a pain and uncomfortable. But again, this chest rig was really cheap. This pouch came with the Optic. It just took a little bit of sewing, which I'll probably modify this a bit more to be more practical for my needs. At some point, I'll probably do another video on that. But anyway, that's the ending for right now of the OKP7 reproduction / replica Optic and my Chi-Com chest rig. I appreciate you all watching. If you have any comments or questions, let me know down below, and have a good one.